Doom is an interesting franchise to talk about, not because of its obviously rich history that saw the original single-handedly transform the entire game industry, but for its ability to evolve and drastically change its core gameplay with each new entry. We've seen it in Doom 3, Doom 2016, Eternal, and now here in the Dark Ages, with each entry proving that this legendary franchise not only has staying power, but can successfully pivot between fundamentally different styles of gameplay from one entry to the next. It's clear that id is not content with simply building upon what works, rather focused on trying to innovate not only their own prestigious IP, but the genre as a whole. This is commendable, and I think they deserve a lot of praise for willingly taking such big risks in a flooded market that often plays it safe. In this light, I think The Dark Ages is another success for the franchise. It is yet again a fundamentally different experience than its predecessor, but still a highly polished game that's unmistakably Doom. This makes it easy to praise and recommend to people. I think it's a real crowd pleaser, but things get more complicated depending on who you're talking to. When Doom 2016 released and brought the series into the modern age, there were plenty of longtime fans that found it disappointing, maybe from abandoning the horror atmosphere of Doom 3 or disliking the locked in an arena loop throughout the game. Then came Eternal, that cranked every dial of 2016 up to 11, with its complex combat that demanded more from the player than perhaps any other game in the genre. So with the series that changes as drastically as Doom, it's easy to understand why some fans may love one and dislike another. I think all this is important to keep in mind when watching reviews on the Dark Ages, trying to decide whether it's for you or not. To me, Doom 2016 and Eternal were masterpieces in their own ways. I love them both, the latter of which being one of my favorite FPS games of all time because of its impressive replay value thanks to its incredible combat sandbox. Now, after beating the Dark Ages and reflecting on my time with it, I genuinely wish I could say that the team at id pulled off the hat trick of 3 masterpieces in a single trilogy, but that just isn't the case here, unfortunately. I personally found the Dark Ages to be a downgrade in every sense of the word, in every area of the game besides the graphics. The whole experience felt like this huge, unnecessary course correction from the criticisms they received on Eternal. But more baffling to me is how they made some of the same mistakes anyways, making the complete gutting of Eternal's excellent combat loop feel even more offensive and unnecessary. Where Eternal was this finely tuned, escalating symphony of complex destruction, The Dark Ages is this clunky one-trick pony that shows its entire hand at about the 5-hour mark of its 15 to 20-hour campaign, leaving very little room for the combat to evolve past throwing everything at the player in tight spaces. So while this is undeniably a highly polished and complete game that most will enjoy, I can't help but feel now that it's live on Game Pass and more players got their hands on it, it'll find itself going down as the most divisive Doom title to date, rivaling even Doom 3.